She is a 6'3" junior from Algona, Iowa, who is leading the nation with multiple 30-point games this season as well as double doubles. But they are on a 4-game losing streak. So what does this say about Audi? What does it say about Iowa State? For this specific video, I'm going to talk a little bit about both. So let's go over what Audi has done over the past few years, because if you are a fan of women's basketball, then she's just not coming on the scene. She has been dominating since her freshman year, coming in averaging 19.2 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Sophomore season, she averaged 23.4 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. And now this junior year, she is averaging 28.7 points per game, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.6 assists. Now, that might have dropped slightly because over the past couple of games, I think she has scored maybe like 22 and 17, which obviously probably dropped that scoring average. But let's talk about Audi. First of all, let's talk about what she does well. 1, she finishes well. 2, she has good feet. 3, she has good hands. And 4, she has a soft touch. When you mix this in with 6'3" and what she's able to do physically and how she's able to use her body, then this is tough to stop. And it's no wonder that she's been scoring almost 30 points per game. So I just want to get it out there. And the games that I saw, I haven't watched them since they played Baylor. I started watching some of the West Virginia game, but I didn't get through all of it. So that was their first game that they started losing as they went on this losing streak. Few things that I saw from Audi, this was my first time watching her this season, was that if you play behind her, in the words of Shaq, you are simply barbecue chicken. There's not much that you can do because it's just tough to get around her, and it's tough. Like I said, she used her body and she's finishing that almost every time. And if you don't have any help, it's a wrap. When Baylor got in trouble, when they got themselves in trouble, when Audi was scoring at ease, which was most of that first half, there was no help. They were all the way in weak side to where nobody was behind her. So that's one thing you have to, first of all, you can't play her one-on-one. Then secondly, you have to have help if you are going to play her one-on-one. So let's talk about what I saw in this game specifically, and I think this is why they might be on their 4-game losing streak, is because Audie's still scoring. Maybe she's not averaging 30 and 40, but she's still scoring. This is showing that Iowa State as a team is weak when it comes to scoring. What I saw in that Baylor game was they were so selfless, trying to find her so much that they were turning the ball over, and they weren't looking for their own shot, which is why they have been beat by these teams. Because if you look at their scoring box, then they have somebody averaging double digits and then maybe 3 or 4 people. And so Audie's just simply not enough. Jada had a great game, her season high that game. But even in that, if you look at her, she was still forcing it in the beginning, which was causing turnovers. And she still was a little bit hesitant. Now, I believe Jada can score with some of the best of them, but that's just obviously the system that they run at Iowa State. So she's gonna have to step it up as well as her other teammates. Harris has kind of been helping, but they need more they need more from their team. All right, when it comes to offensive scoring. Now, Audi, let's be honest, she is hard to officiate. All right, so that has something to do with it as well, because we know, like Shaq, right? Shaq doesn't get many calls, but I do feel that the officials try to be sometimes a little bit more lenient with her, and so they might give her fouls that somebody else might have played through. So this means that she is being put at the free throw line. Now, where I thought that she would be better, especially because she's having 30 and 40 points per game, is I thought that she would be a better free throw shooter than what she is. I think when I checked, she was like at 68, 69%. She might be at 70, but if you're living at the line that much, especially with Audi and her soft touch, she should at least be 80%. That's easily averaging 5-6 more points per game. So I think that's an area that she needs to improve in. So I said when she was one-on-one. Oh yeah, but going back to free throws, when it was one-on-one, she scored either every time or she got fouled. So you got to get that free throw percentage up to even help your team even more, even though I know that she's doing the bulk of the scoring. So all right, let's talk about if I were coaching against Audi and what I believe that some of these teams probably did. They've learned from Baylor and they're seeing this, and this is going to continue to be a problem if Iowa State does not know how to fix it. All right, so Audi, here's the thing. It's crazy because you would think that she would be in more foul trouble than what she is. I think when I was listening, they said that Audi averages like 1 foul per game. That is absolutely bananas. That's crazy for someone who plays quite a few minutes a game. So what that tells me is that they are simply not going at her. They are not putting her in vulnerable positions when it comes defensively. They are not putting her in vulnerable positions. If I know that somebody is going 30-40, scoring 30-40 points at me, yes, they're going to get theirs, but I'm also going to do my part and say, okay, she might get me offensively, but I'm going to go at her and make her play defense. So that doesn't make sense to me as to why teams would not put her in more vulnerable positions. So when you get her away from that basket, when you're putting her in those screening roles, you'll see a lot of times that the guard will come off when they switch, and it's an easy layup at the basket. So that's an area that she needs to improve in, and that I would do as a coach if I were playing against her. I'm sorry, but as a guard, I am going straight at her. I'm looking forward to playing against her because I'm like, this layups all day long once I get that switch. All right, so that's another thing that they need to, or that's one thing that they need to do. All right, so that is obviously, just like any big who plays that 5 position. I think that is obvious, that one of the things that she could improve upon so she can stay on the court even more so is just conditioning. I mean, like I said, that's pretty much with any 5. The more that she's on the court, the more is going to help her team out. But I want to say this about Iowa State. And I want to say this if you are a player in college and you're thinking about transferring. If I am looking to transfer, let me say this. If I'm looking to transfer and I am a scorer, I am looking at Iowa State and I am like drooling, like it's coming down. Why? Because they need help scoring. When Audi leaves the game, they really don't have that scorer who takes over to where they're not lacking in that department. Can Jada do it? Can Harris do it? Maybe. I believe they can, but they're not. But anyway, you still need at least like 3 scorers. We see that with some of the best programs. So I am like drooling. But anyway, that's pretty much what I had to say about Audi and Iowa State for now. Let me go over my notes real quick. I said that Cincinnati was scoring some of the Cincinnati game. I'm sorry, not the West Virginia. But when I saw some of the Cincinnati game, scoring so easily on those ball screens, getting easy buckets all day long. The teammates or Cincinnati's team was so much more aggressive in helping each other out. What I mean by that is by scoring rather than Iowa State's players were. I mentioned this as well. So another thing that they did well is they crowded Audi's space. And if you have played ball and you are an offensive player and you like to score, then what is the one thing that you want in order to score? And it's just, if someone gives you a little bit of it, then it's over with. And that is simply space. So what they did well and why Audi struggled was they crowded her space well. All right. So I put a note of when she scored, there was single coverage on her. She had space. She was deep. She wasn't so far off the block, but she was deep on that block or below the block. or she had time to take 2 or 3 dribbles. That is when she scored. So when you give Audi this, I'm sorry, like I said, like Shaq says, simply barbecue chicken is too late. There's nothing that you can do about it. I'm sorry. So it did say she's a 70% free throw shooter. She, at least in my opinion, needs to be 80%. But what are you guys' thoughts? Iowa State has to do something. And I'm not sure if they have enough to make a deep run when it comes to March. Correct me if I'm wrong, or tell me what you guys think about Audi Crooks and Iowa State. I hope that they get back on track. They got a big game this Sunday, a rival game, to where they will be playing... Let me see. I'm sorry. No, I will be in Oklahoma this upcoming. No, this is not their rival game. Thought they were going to be playing somebody else. But they play again Sunday against Oklahoma State. Will they bounce back, or will they go on a 5-game losing streak? We shall see. So anyway, let me know if you haven't checked out my lay video. Be sure to check that one out. I'll probably come back and revisit that as LSU continues to play and as she continues to grow. But let me know who y'all think I should do next. I enjoy doing these. They're fun to do. So yeah, y'all let me know in the comments, and I appreciate y'all for watching.